Afternoon. Christmas almost upon us, and if you're looking for some last minute gifts when it comes to reading, well, let's find out what's popular for Christmas, what's popular this Christmas in the bestsellers list, and in particular in Bookmark, which you'll find at Letterkenny Shopping Centre, because Mark Bundschu has joined me now in the studio. Mark, thanks for coming in, first of all.
Good to see you.
So, popular books, great idea for a gift at Christmas, obviously, because it's almost like a fragrance, because you second guess what somebody might like, and then you get them, either a fragrance or, in this case, a book. And with books, there's so many different genres and types and writers.
There is
bound to be something to fit.
There is, and it's a very personal gift as well. It's something that you have to think about before you.
Yes.
To buy for somebody. So absolutely, yeah, it's a very, very popular gift.
Yeah, and you can even make it more personal if you want to put a wee inscription on the inside.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so let's go straight to the popular ones for Christmas, because not everybody's aware of what's out there, and then just sort of land in. Sometimes I find that I land into a shop and I'm looking around at what's laid out there, and you're looking at recommendations and stuff, rather than having done the homework beforehand. So hopefully we'll help to that end a bit. So what's selling well? What's popular this Christmas?
Well, Matthew Perry, obviously, he passed away recently.
Yes.
His book it's a really, really good read, both from a showbiz perspective, people who are fans of Friends, but also he talks about his drug addiction quite a bit, which was ultimately led to his demise.
He was always very open about it.
Yeah,
and honest about it, and I think that's one of the reasons he was so popular.
Yeah, and he struggled all the way through his career with it, so
he did indeed. Friends, Lovers, and The Big Terrible Thing.
Yeah,
great title. Okay, so that's obviously selling well and popular. What else have we got?
Yeah, there's a book, Katrina O'Sullivan. It's called Poor. It's really, really interesting one. I've just started reading it there. She was this girl was born to parents of they were both heroin addicts, born in Birmingham, and then she moved to Ireland when she was older. They were both Irish parents.
It's a terrible, tough upbringing.
Incredibly tough, and it's really well written.
So there's alcoholism in there, there's drug abuse. She was pregnant herself when she was 15, am I right?
Yeah.
But she overcame.
Yeah, and she's now a professor of psychology at Maynooth University. She got her degree in Trinity.
Wow.
And she's moved over here now. So it's an incredible story of triumph. It really is, against the odds.
It is. And it's the sort of book that sells, I suppose, well at any time of the year, but particularly at Christmas. We love stories with a happy ending. Katrina O'Sullivan is called Poor: Grit, Courage, and the Life-Changing Value of Self-Belief. And and it's been getting great reviews and it's selling well. It says here the #1 bestseller. So
yeah, it's so well written is the one part of it, but the other side of it then is obviously she's got into what we need to do to try and fix this for future generations and so on. So it's quite uplifting in the end.
Goes beyond her story.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, brilliant. One to look out for from Katrina O'Sullivan.
And then we've got Marie Cassidy. So she's the former state pathologist. And she wrote her memoirs a couple of years ago, and they sold very well. This is her first thriller, and it's about a pathologist. So it's a
work of fiction.
It's a work of fiction, fast-paced thriller, but it's rooted in her expertise. So so it's very, very accurate in how they solve crimes. Basically, how their job is effectively to solve crimes.
Well, she's able to dip into her own wealth of knowledge. I mean, she was a state pathologist for years, even though it is a work of fiction, and a body of truth. Again, a great title.
Yeah, and it's very well written. I've been reading it there yesterday and today. It's actually really well written. I think it's a good book.
Byline says, "In the hunt for a killer, the scars of death don't lie."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Marie Cassidy with her first, and I would imagine won't be our last work of fiction.
It'll be quite interesting because it's right up there in the bestseller charts. So it'll be quite interesting to see how it's received overall.
Yeah,
this is one that. It's my hike life. It's incredible that this is in the bestsellers at Christmas. Normally a book like this would sell in the summer and would be you'd just have a small following really for this sort of book, but it's right up the top of the bestseller charts.
It's written by Rosanna Purcell, influencer, model, but I suppose above all now a real outdoor enthusiast.
Yeah, very much so. So it goes through 50 hikes around Ireland and grading how easy they are, how difficult they are, how to prepare for them.
Yeah.
And there's one I was looking at. You have Muckish and you have Mount Errigal and you have
Great. So
all those ones here as well.
She hasn't forgotten Donegal.
No, she hasn't.
Good. And
It's well covered, and it's really well illustrated as well. This
absolutely
really nice gift.
All
book.
the details you would want if you decide to go on one of the walks, and as you see, beautifully illustrated in that there's some beautiful photographs as well. And given that she's such a presence on social media, you'd expect, I suppose, the photographs to be good because she's well used to taking them. For the most part, it seems like she's out doing these walks on her own, and she outlines as well the benefits of just getting out into the outdoors for our mental and physical well-being.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a great family activity. Particularly this time of the year where everybody's indoors for.
Yeah, called The Hike Life: My 50 Favourite Hikes in Ireland, from Rosanna Purcell.
Yeah, and then we've got some biographies here. Liam Brady, born to be a footballer.
Well, sporting biographies always tend to do well at this time of the year.
They're always a great gift for
us. Yeah. And Liam Brady's. Well, we had the TV documentary, which was on, I think, earlier in the year.
That's right.
And now the book.
Mm. Yeah, and it's a very well written book, really about his personal stories through all effectively Irish football history. I mean, he's been there all the way through for our lifetimes, really.
No, he has. He was attached to the Republic of Ireland squad as a player, and then I think maybe as a coach, but also over at Arsenal as a coach, as the academy. He was one of the founders of the academy.
He set up the academy system. Yeah, completely upgraded it. He took it into the modern era.
Yeah, there you go.
When Arsenal were falling behind.
So it was a great story to tell, and not just playing in England with Arsenal, but also then he moved to Italy and played with Juventus and had a great career in Italy, and obviously his time with the Republic of Ireland. And for those who remember, Liam Brady was just such an
incredible footballer. Yeah,
such a left foot.
But it's a very accessible book as well. It's very well written, and it's very easy to read. So.
Well, the cream always rises to the top, so there's plenty of sporting books out, but it's the ones that are well written, despite what kind of a story they have to tell.
Yeah, and given their own personal experience as opposed to just the facts of which a lot of biographies tend to be that.
Okay, no, we like to get the stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's great. That's Liam Brady, Born to be a Footballer, my autobiography.
Yeah, and we got Billy Connolly here, Rambling Man.
Great.
And that's a great book for somebody who doesn't read much, because it's all short anecdotes, 2 or 3 pages each, of all of his life travelling around the world and all the experiences he had through the whole lot. So it's a really good one that you can put down and pick up again. It's not in chronological order. You don't need to worry about remembering any of the facts. It's something you can just pick up for 10 minutes and then put it down again for a month and pick it up again. So it's a really nice one for somebody who doesn't read that much or would like to get into reading.
So you can dip in and out of it.
Totally, yeah.
But I like, even when I'm stuck into a fairly meaty book, I like it when it's broken up into short chapters.
Yeah.
I think it's just, it helps me anyhow to digest it. I'm just looking at some of the photographs here and his travels. He was a great traveller as well. I don't know if he travels much anymore, but it's just a great traveller.
Yeah, he's in his 80s now, and he's actually written the book. He's just written the book in his 80s, so he's still...
There you go.
Still that spirit is there.
Still delivering. Okay, Billy Connolly, Rambling Man, My Life on the Road, and if anybody can tell a good story, it's Billy.
Yeah.
All right, great. That's out now as well.
And then we've got Chris Kamara, who never really made it famous as a footballer, but is much loved as a pundit, and great fun, really, really good fun, that guy.
And sadly then was diagnosed with, I'm just reading the back of the book here, apraxia. This is a rare brain condition that affects speech, and he found that he was struggling to speak when he was live on TV. Yeah,
and he was tripping all the time as well.
Yeah, and he went public with the news, and as has brought a lot of people and given a lot of people an insight and comfort from the fact that he has gone public with it. But it says, my unbelievable life, and again it'll bring us behind the scenes.
Very much so, and he's great fun. He's great fun. You
can tell that from his time on here.
Yeah, and it's kind of interspersed with the stories about how his illness has affected him as well. But it's very much the light-hearted side of just having fun, just knowing how to have fun in your life, I suppose.
Yeah, and some of the reporting, there's a very famous clip about a sending off.
That's right.
And he didn't even know that it had happened. Yeah. And then it's very, very funny. Anyhow, that's called Cammy, written by Chris Kamara.
Yeah, and then I brought in Britney Spears one because it's a book that...
Hugely popular.
Absolutely, it's right up the top, the bestsellers. But it's a lot of people who would never read any other book will read that one. So if there's somebody that you want to give a gift to that might get into reading, that's particularly for a daughter. It's a really interesting book and a good story as well. You know.
Again, someone who's overcome a lot in her life, and you know, you write her off at your peril. I mean, we were chatting earlier about Katrina O'Sullivan, entirely different sort of a background here and upbringing. But a woman who had to overcome a lot in young life in particular.
Yeah,
and then
she was thrust into the spotlight at a very young age, and was one of the most famous women in the world at that time.
Absolutely, and has outlined a lot of her more recent problems as well in the book, and the conservative, how's it pronounced, the conservatorship that she had to go through as well, and she's out the other side now, but it's called anyhow The Woman in Me from Britney Spears.
Yeah. And then the last two are, if I came to you any year in the last 5 years, these are the two. David Walliams and Diary of a Wimpy Kid have been the most popular books for sort of 8 to 12-year-olds for every single year.
You know what? I was looking through kids' books. Kids' books again at Christmas, very popular, and these are the two. And it was a long list, but these are the two that jumped out at me.
Those two and the Guinness Book of Records. They're just number 1, 2, and 3 every single year for. It's a Christmas tradition now.
What is it about the Guinness Book of Records?
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
It's an easy gift because it's got such broad appeal.
Yeah, and I think parents who want their kids to get into reading, it's a really, again, it's one the kid can open it up and close it again, and you know, that sort of thing. It's a nice one to have around in the house.
Yeah, or sitting in the bathroom to flick through.
And it's going for 60 years now at this stage.
Wow. But The Diary of a Wimpy Kid, no-brainer, and David Walliams' latest one, The Blunders, it's called, and very accessible, very easy to read, very easy for kids to get into and enjoy.
And the great thing is, if they get into that book, then there's all the back catalogue. What tends to happen is they read one and then they start buying the other ones, you know, so they get into reading that way, you know, because they're very well written books.
Absolutely. Well, plenty to choose from there. And that's just, in a way, that's just the tip of the iceberg, because it's just when you're standing at the bookshelves that you realise just the number of great Irish writers that we have, and the number of great books that are out there. And as you mentioned earlier, you know, a book always makes a great gift at Christmas.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mark, thank you very much for that, and a very happy Christmas to you.
And thank you, John. Happy Christmas to you.
Around the Northwest.